countdown is so long. I'm like, it's the longest 30 seconds. I'm gonna cut all of those and make them shorter. It's like when you're doing a plank and you're like, this has to be over soon, and yet it's only been 5 seconds. Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. So there's a couple of things I want to say at the top of this, because like always, I don't know how these are going to release. So I am talking to 14 different fans from all the 14 teams that make the NFL playoffs. Thought it would be cool because lots of new fans will be coming in watching all these teams that we didn't watch all year. People will want to know, who are these teams? What do they do? And things like that. And I like a good collaboration. So there's that. Second thing is, we're recording this between we're recording this between week 17 and 18. So we don't really know matchups and things like that. A lot of things have to happen, especially in the AFC, to kind of figure out who's even in, who's going to play, things like that. So there's that. And then thirdly, Tommy was the first person that I talked to in the summer for my 32 fan series. And you will never know how many tips and tricks you gave me that day, very first day, on setting up my YouTube channel, focusing on my noise, it took me a while to figure out the mic thing, focusing on so many different things, having a background, so many things you helped me with on that first recording that still are paying dividends to me today. So I wanted to thank you for that. Obviously publicly, because you did it privately, but I'm thanking you publicly because it mattered to me. And then the last thing I'll say, and then we'll hear from Tommy, is you are also one of the people that I talked. So the Eagles fan I talked to, you, the Chiefs fan, and the Lions fan, all and the Vikings fan, all nailed your team pretty spot on. Even the Steelers fan did pretty well. There's certain fans that nailed it, down to what to look for, what's great. Even the Rams fan, so my point in saying this is that speaks to why I like to talk to fans, because we know our team, we know our tendencies, we know our coaches, we know everything. So I will shut up, but I would love to know how you felt this season went. How are you feeling overall? How are you feeling in this weird spot where you all are already kind of set, you're set, you've done what you can do. How are you feeling that the season has gone?
Oh, great. As expected, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not trying to be cocky or anything that. The thing is, there's channels where people are homers, and they're always going to be, no matter what, their team's great every year. And then there's teams that there's content creators that are downers, or everything's gloom.
Terrible.
I'm in the middle, and I try to be realistic with my team. And I told you in the offseason, look, we might have lost a few pieces. And really, when you look back, and I told you this, I think, when we did our first video, really, we lost one big piece, which was Stephon Diggs. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde were guys that, listen, we love them. They were here since 2017, really the beginning of Sean McDermott. And they did great here. But they couldn't stay healthy over the last 2-3 seasons. So losing them, it sucks for as far as you lose that leadership, the captain side of things, but production was down because they just couldn't stay healthy. Now, as you know, Micah Hyde did re-sign. He's on the practice squad. I don't think he'll see any time. It's more of a I guess like a sideline coach kind of deal with these younger safeties. Okay. So he's an emergency break in case of emergency, right? That's what he is, break glass in case of emergency right now is what Micah Hyde's role is, and more of just a coaching up the safety. So he is back in Buffalo, which a lot of Bills fans thought he'd be back. But I would say, even Mitch Morse, right? I mean, we lost our center, Mitch Morse, and people are can McGovern swing back? And McGovern's considered one of the better centers in the league.
Yeah.
Now that was a little surprising. I'm not going to lie. I was a little. So my concerns going into the season wasn't really even the receiving room. It was more about the center, or what can he replace Morse and our safeties, right? Because it was Taylor Rapp now starting and DeMar Hamlin, right? Yeah. Those were my concerns, and to be honest with you, going into week 5, those concerns went away, and it turned and shifted to the receiver room. That was the one area I thought we'd be okay in to start the season, because I did buy into the everybody eats mentality that we don't have to have a superstar receiver here. And I was a little wrong, and I think a lot of us got a little bit of the smoke and mirrors from, what we heard in the offseason, and we thought we wanted to, that's how it would work out. And it did for the first 3 weeks, but it was because we were winning. But if you look back and you look at the stats of the receivers, they were not good.
Right.
Now, I don't believe Shakir. Shakir is still, I believe, a guy that's going to be a household name soon. He's having a really good season. But we don't have a 1,000-yard receiver, and we are a 13 team right now. So really impressive. But I will say this, like I said, I was a little worried after those 3 games. Once we went on that 2-game losing streak, that we did need a receiver in here that will respect. And that was Amari Cooper. Now, listen, Amari Cooper's not the guy that he used to be, but Amari Cooper is still a guy that defenses have to respect and know he's on the field, and you better be careful. So that opened up guys like Keon Coleman, guys like Khalil Shakir had helped out more, Dalton Kincaid. So as you saw, when we got Amari Cooper, it just started rolling from there, and our offense started having more fun. But yeah, I really honestly, like I said, I told you to start the season, I did not feel that the Dolphins nor the Jets were ready to take over the East. I just didn't believe it.
Yeah,
the Jets the Jets will be the Jets. I didn't trust Aaron Rodgers would have this bounce back 40-year-old after tearing his Achilles would come back and just be the man at an older age. I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. And sure enough, I was right on that. They fired their coach, fired their GM. I mean, they're a disaster over there. In Miami, I said this multiple times. I like Tua, but the problem is he can't stay healthy. And I've proven that time and time again.
Every year.
They gave him that massive contract. Yeah, he was healthy last year, but then boom, hurt again. Like he just can't. He can't be. And if you can't have your starting quarterback, or you're going to every season going, damn, like more than likely, who knows? Could this be the year he misses more time? Like, then it's never a good thing. And they have problems over there. They've had problems. So I felt like they were their team chasing us, and we were chasing one team. That's the Chiefs, and that's how it's going to be. And I said to everyone, we'd probably be a 13-win team. And right now we got 13. We could.
There it is.
Right. So,
What did anything surprise you this year? Did anything as things have kind of worked themselves out? Was there any a moment where you were kind of like, I am shocked that we're this kind of team. I thought we were going to kind of be more of this kind of team. Or is there anything watching that you're like, that's surprising?
Look, when Joe Brady took over last year, and I knew that he was taking over Ken Dorsey's playbook, so it really wasn't necessarily his playbook. He was just calling the plays.
Right.
I figured they would give him an opportunity to become OC. And in the offseason, like I said, his thing was he wanted everyone to eat, right? Well, listen, Josh Allen's a slinger, and he also wanted the offense to be balanced. And everybody has to buy into that mentality, right? That means like there can't be like one guy going, I want the ball, or Josh Allen going, hey, I want to throw it more than we run it. I don't, let's be pass heavy. Like everybody bought in. So of course, as a fan, I'm like, it sounds great, but will they buy in? Will we see that in the regular season?
Right.
Yeah. One, will they buy in? And two, will it work? Because who knows, right? So it was surprising that one, it's worked, and two, that everybody's bought in, right? Everybody's bought in. And you see like Josh is playing a little different this year, right? He's taking the shorter stuff. He's not going deep as much. Mm-hmm. He's playing smarter football. He's taking what the defense gives him. We're running the ball a lot more.
Yep.
So I think this is the most balanced offense I've seen since Josh Allen's been here.
I like that. What do you think? What if somebody that doesn't know the Bills will be watching them for the first time? Because a lot of people will be watching them for the first time when they play. What would you say your team's weakness is? Like, is there one thing that when you watch you kind of get worried? Are you kind of like, oh gosh, we're not very good stuff in the run? Please tackle. Is there anything specifically?
Yeah, the defense. I mean, in a whole. So right now we're ranked 23rd. I haven't listened. A lot of fans get on me about this, but I'm not sold on our head coach. I like our head coach. I respect our head coach. He's in year 8, right? But the problem is with Sean McDermott is he's a good regular season coach. Like, I have faith in him that he can get this team to the playoffs. The problem is when we hit the playoffs, he hits like a brick wall, and he he crumbles in bad moments, right? In tight games, he tends to clamp up a little bit, and the defense is really what takes the hit because he's a defensive-minded head coach. That's what he does. So our defense this year ranked 23rd. Now, mind you, we had a lot of injuries, but I'm not the excuse guy. There's a lot of injuries in football. That's what it's all about. It sucks. That's why you got depth. So I'm not going to totally go into like, oh, that's why we're 23rd, but we're in the middle of the pack defense. We give up. We're not good against the run. We're not very big on the defensive line. We have smaller linemen, that's because the scheme. That's the players he wants. He wants a quicker defense. But when you go against a more physical team like Baltimore, it hurts. It hurts us. So I would say our defense right now is the concern going to the playoffs. I just need them to play average. I really do. If they can give us average defensive play, a little bit of cushion, and let this offense, a couple stops, get a little cushion. Because I go back to like that Lions game. If you watch that Lions game, really, if you go back to the Rams game, what's the difference between the Rams game and the Lions game? Right. So the Rams game, they started hot. Our defense couldn't get them off the field. And they got a cushion, right? They had like a 17-point, I think, at one point. If you go to the Lions game, it was like reverse of right. It was the reverse. It was the other side. Okay. We had the stops early. We got the cushion. They were playing from behind the whole time. And, that was the reason why we beat the Lions, because we had a cushion early. And then it was just back and forth, but you can't do that. Like if you can't stop, right? Because then you need stops. Yeah. So the Lions couldn't stop us, and then by then they were always playing from behind. And then you got to factor in the turnover late for the Lions, which hurt them, and then the onside kick with 12 minutes left was, I don't know what he was doing. That you had to factor in. So yeah, like if our defense can hold on early and our offense can stay hot the way it's been, I think we'll be just fine.
I think that's good formula. Is there anybody that you want to avoid in the AFC as you make people? I mean, if I were you, I would Baltimore play the Steelers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we match up well against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh right now is starting. Yeah, I think they're starting to, and I know you're a Pittsburgh fan, so I think you guys are starting to.
I tell people we're in a rebuild. Nobody wants to call it what it is. We're actually in a rebuild.
No, you are. You are, because you have 2 guys on a 1-year contract.
Exactly. It's a rebuild. I don't understand why people won't just come to terms with it. Yeah. When you come to terms with it, you can accept where we're at. But you keep pushing this narrative. I'm like, all right, okay, Super Bowl Steelers. Like, that would be great, but like, come on, guys. So who you said Baltimore?
Go ahead. Yeah. So I think Baltimore is even though, listen, the real answer is the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs have been our side, right, thrown on our side. Like they are, like I can't. It's funny because I'll have Chiefs fans come into my chat or like comment on my YouTube channel. I'm like, look, man, like I'm not gonna even sit here and debate you guys. Like I'm about as honest as a fan or a content creator as you get. We are chasing you guys. We have not beaten you guys when it counts. I can't even debate you right now. But I mean, it's funny. I'm like, why are you coming on here going like, we already know this. Like, I know. Why are you I know we can't beat Mahomes. We haven't yet. Yeah. Until we do. Like, I get it, but you don't need to tell me this. I'm well aware of this problem. So Baltimore is a team that if they play right, like because the thing is, Baltimore's weird. Like this year, they've lost to bad teams, like the Raiders, like Cleveland, like right. It's like, what are you doing? And really, if you look at those games that they lost, they stopped running the ball, and it's really odd that they would do that. To me, that's a Derrick Henry led team. I know it's a hot take, but I know Lamar's having a great year, but you got to factor in Derrick Henry
100%.
big time on why that offense is when it's humming, it's really because they got that run game going, and then you can do so much after play action. You can run Lamar more, like then you really then that makes them dangerous. But their defense is not what it was. You know what I mean? So, but I still think if they use Derrick Henry right, because of our defense and our lack of physicality against that run, it would be a really tough game. I still think we would win. I don't fear no team. I think we could beat any team on any given day. But that's the one team I don't think we match up well against. But I still think we could beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Now on your Steelers, real quick. The one thing I would say about your Steelers team that I'm like, wow, because I watched you guys play the Chiefs, and I thought you guys would actually beat the Chiefs. I don't know what I was thinking, but what I noticed in your game, because I thought it was in Pittsburgh. The Chiefs really haven't. They've been in close games, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a close. You never know. They're coming off a short week. Yeah. But my God, like the one thing I would say I don't understand what Tomlin isn't doing is why isn't he implementing or using Fields more in a game? Like if I had two quarterbacks, and it's not like Russell Wilson's like this, he's playing out of his mind. Yeah. Like there's no way you'd put Fields. Like I think they both bring something to the table that's different. Like Russell Wilson has he's been around a long time, Super Bowl winner, has probably a little bit better of an arm, but Fields could throw too. But Fields brings that dynamic of running. So like for me, if I'm in a game, I am bring remember like the good old day, like Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, you use all your options to win the game.
Because listen, defenses can only plan for so much. Then they got to adjust on the fly. Oh shit, Fields in the game. Now he's out. Now Russell Wilson. Now shit, both of them's in. I would so mess with that because neither one, you know what I mean? It's like this star where you can't, you're going to throw their confidence off by putting one in, one the. I would honestly treat it like a college football. Like some college football teams do that, where they'll have one quarterback come in, one quarterback come back in that can run the ball. Like mix it up. Yeah. But I don't know why Tomlin doesn't do that.
I don't know why he hasn't done it more. And I know for the 11-game stretch or the 10-game stretch when we were playing all these games, I know Justin Fields was hurt. I think almost all three of those games, if not two of them or whatever. So I understand not doing it then. But my problem is why did we not do that in week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Why did we?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right.
I don't know. I've asked the same question. I don't understand what we're doing. There's a lot of personnel decisions that I'm just not quite understanding this year, if I'm honest.
It's just odd. That's just odd to me. It's just odd.
Very odd. It is. So let's say I picked up the phone and called you 2 minutes after the Buffalo Bills just won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, and I was like, Tommy, oh my God, they did it. How did they do this? Why do you think the Buffalo Bills will win the Super Bowl? What is the thing that you will go, you know what? It was because of this. What would be that thing?
It's because Josh Allen, the offense, went absolutely berserk. That's the only way we're going to win a Super Bowl this year. The defense is not going to win us a Super Bowl. No, I don't think anyone in their right mind could debate me on that. The defense, listen, if the offense struggles in a game, we're done. It doesn't matter what round. If our offense comes out the gate slow, I do not trust our defense to pick up the slack. I just don't. This is not, listen, this is the worst year. This is the worst our defense has been under Sean McDermott. And there's no more excuses. Going into the playoffs, I would say over the last 3 years, we've been very beat up. We've had missing players left and right. This year, that's not the case. We have everyone going into the playoffs healthy. There is no excuse now. If our defense gives up 40 points and we can't do their job, nobody can sit back in the offseason and go, well, it's because we were missing Matt Milano, we were missing Terrell Bernard, we were missing this guy. No, they're right now everyone is good to go. So I don't want to hear that excuse in the offseason that because that's what's been the narrative. Oh, if we only had, last year, because last year was, and I get it. Like I understand you have to factor that in. We are missing both linebackers. The Chiefs exposed that. They went right in the middle of the field with Kelsey. Kelsey exposed, like that's what good offensive coordinators do. They will expose your weakness. I get that. But this year, guess what? There's no more, like everyone's there. So I don't want to hear it. Everyone's there. So if we lose, like I said, if we win, it's going to be because the offense and Josh Allen was just really pretty much unstoppable. And it's going to be some high scoring. I really honestly, like maybe the first round and we play a wild card team, like at Pittsburgh or whatever, like, we would play Denver probably.
Whoever
I think that would be it would I'm guessing Denver, because Denver has the Chiefs are going to rest everybody. So, that game, I think no problem in Buffalo, against a rookie quarterback, even though he's played well. I think we would win that game, no problem. It's the next rounds that start to get tougher. And that's where I think it's going to be high scoring games. Like it's going to come down to, it's going to be like the Lions game. It's going to be the Lions game all over. And the question will be, are we playing from behind or are we playing, ahead? And that it really, because if we're playing from behind, it's going to be really, really tough on us. Yeah. Because I just don't trust the defense can make stops.
Is there anybody that you want to go to? Like, if you could pick your perfect Super Bowl matchup, who would that team be from the NFC?
What everyone wants to see is Buffalo, Detroit. Let's be real. Like, everyone wants to see that rematch. But I think Philly. I think right now Detroit. I feel bad for them because they have a lot of injuries, and it's on the defensive. Yeah, it's on the defensive side. They're giving up a lot of points. I don't see them making the Super Bowl because of that. They almost would have to go, if they get to the Super Bowl, it would have to be like Buffalo. And we're not even banged up on defense, but they would literally have to just go absolutely insane on offense and win shootouts for them to reach Super Bowl. So I had them going to the Super Bowl, but that was before all the injuries. I'm going to say Philly right now is playing the best football in the NFC. Minnesota, and it's not a shot, not a slight to Minnesota, but we'll see what Sam Darnold does in the playoffs against.
I think that's everybody's question mark. Yeah.
And it's no knock on him. I think he's done a really phenomenal job for a guy that everybody counted off. So, but I just don't see him beating like a Philly team. I could be wrong, and they could, but I right now I would say Buffalo and Philly would be my picks for the Super Bowl, and that would be a hell of a game. Yeah,
it would be. So the last question I have is just, I like to ask people, what should we know watching the Bills? Because like I said before, we're all going to end up watching them because it's going to be, one of one game that will be on at the time. So you're going to get a lot of new fans, and you know how this goes. You get a lot of new fans, and the new fans come in and they want to tell you how to run your team and why aren't you doing this and why aren't you doing that and all the things. But as a fan, what is something that you would like people to know about this Buffalo Bills team as they're watching them play?
Yeah, that we're never out of a game. It's very, very rare that we get blown out. I mean, we got one game this year that Baltimore took us to the house. Other than that, we doesn't matter who we play. It's going to be a competitive, fun, exciting game. That's why they put us a lot on prime time. Josh Allen, well, come on, come on, Josh Allen. If you don't know Josh Allen by now, then you don't watch football. That guy is exciting as you can get, you know what I mean? And we have in the playoffs, man, we have some exciting talent. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the Lions are stacked with talent. Yeah. You name it. But as far as my team goes, like I said, man, we're in every game. It's very rare that we just make it a boring game where we get, just smoked. Josh Allen's going to do he's going to leave everything on the field, right? And this team just I would say this team, man, is just a group of guys that just, listen, there's not really a lot of superstars on this team right now. Like, there's not. There's Josh Allen, and there's guys that are really good that are really like they're just playing for each other. Because if you look at like a lot of teams have one guy on offense, there's my dog Princess, and they got one on defense, right? We don't have that defensive superstar. Like Von Miller is not what he was, right? So we can't even count that. We don't have we have guys that are emerging, like Terrell Bernard, Christian Benford, but they're not really household names. And on offense, really, listen, James Cook is starting to become maybe a household name, but he's still, and I get a lot of heat for this. He's a top 10 running back. He's not a top 5 running back. I like him. He's good, but I don't think he's a top 5 running back. I think when his rookie deal is done, he's gone. But once again, I think Josh Allen is this true superstar here. Everybody else is just kind of just bought in team. It's almost like a college atmosphere. A lot of these players are saying they just fight for each other. So it really is amazing that this team is 13 wins right now, right? For considering everything I just told you, there's no really alpha except for Josh Allen on this team, and we're still playing at a high level. So, but yeah, we're an exciting team to watch. We're gonna be in every game. Eyes will be glued. I don't know why people would hate my team. Like some people just hate Josh Allen. It's so odd to me because, it's really weird, man. Like it's odd. I always tell people this too. Be humble and win and be gracious on defeat. And people don't get that. Yeah. And we get a lot of I get a lot of people coming to my chat that aren't gracious, aren't humble. I try to be I'm excited for a win, but I'm not where I'm going, this team after this team, you guys are trash. Like I don't do that. Like I try to be as gracious as I can. I'm happy, but I wish more people were like that. They're not. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, I feel like people take this stuff way too seriously sometimes too. It's like we don't know these players. We're cheering for a team, and if my team wins, I'm excited. And if they lose, I'm like, what went wrong? And then we move on. That's it. So
I'm passionate. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm tatted up. I'm, I am super hardcore. Like I really like Bills are my passion, no doubt. But I also know how to act. I know how and I do understand too. I'm very, like I said, I'm very humble and gracious, and I'm the same way when it comes to players. Though, like people are like, oh, he's a scumbag. He doesn't pay his child support. I'm like, look, man. I don't know what he does in his personal life. I'm cheering for what he's done on the field. I have no idea or could care less. And I don't even want to talk about it because I don't know if that's the truth. So who am I? I don't know this guy's personal life. And that's not what I'm cheering for. Now, of course, it makes it great when a player is dad off the field. Like, you know what I mean? Like Josh Allen, you've never heard a peep. Like the guy is really good. He's
that's why I can't believe people have bad things to say about him.
I don't get it. Yeah. Like, I don't think any kid should look up as a player, as a role model. Like, I do agree with Charles Barkley, the whole thing he did years ago, and I agree with that. Like, you shouldn't really, but if you do, pick the right ones. And I think there is certain ones in the NFL or any sport that there is that they are good, really respected on and off the field. But I wouldn't recommend it. I would just go, hey, cheer for your team, love the player, what he does on the field. Outside of that, you don't know who that person is in reality. You know nothing about him. So seriously. That's my feelings on that.
Well, listen, as always, I appreciate just hearing your take. I like people that are honest and consistent. I don't mind people that are super fanned out if you can still be honest and still call it down the middle. If you sucked at that, you sucked at that. If you, whatever, I appreciate the fans that can do that. So let people know where they can find you. Obviously your channel is on the thing, in the description notes, I will put, your Twitter, your YouTube channel and things like that. No problem. Yeah. But let people know where they can find you. So
Mafia Sports Report on YouTube. And if you want to talk to me on X, which is Twitter, X, whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
It's Tommy Talks Bills. And I've been saying this all year for the Bills. I wish they would do the Cobra Kai thing. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. That should be in our locker room because I love it. Because, listen, we did that against Detroit, right? You struck first with getting the team off the field on defense and scoring on offense quickly. And you struck hard, right? By just pouring the points on. And then I guess we kind of showed them a little mercy at the end, but that's my mentality really for this Bills team. Like strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Because if you don't strike first, that's where this team gets in trouble. It really does. Yeah, it really, really does. If you look at any of our games this season, coming out the gate slow, it's been rough. So our offense has to be playing at a high level in this playoffs for us to have a chance.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sparing some time for me. I love the dog making an appearance. I always like to see little things go across in the background. It's always fascinating. So I appreciate that. And I was kind of waiting for the jump on or she stared for a little bit. I was waiting for the moment where she gave the little bark or the little head thing, but it didn't happen. But
she's done it sometimes. Princess. Hey, you want to say hi right here? Huh? What do you want to do?
Yeah, there it goes. Hi? There it is. She's like, what
do you want to do? You want to say hi?
That's what I was waiting for. That's right there. Moment.
Huh? What? Huh? What's wrong? All right.
I will. Thank you so much. We'll end this. I will chat soon.
All right.